Hello, May class, and welcome to your next history lesson. I hope that we're all doing well, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. In today's lesson, we are going to be finishing off a little bit about the Romans, and today's task is going to be a hot task about the Romans. So in the previous few lessons, and I will go back to see, just to go through some of these, we were looking at all different information about the Romans, who they were, what they did, how they came to Britain, some of the legacies that they left behind. We looked at some of the buildings that we could still see. We used Google Earth to be able to go and see all of that. So today's lesson is a culmination of bringing all of that together, and you are going to be doing your final hot task on it. So your tasks are going to be as follows. I'm going to read through them a little bit, and then I'm going to go back and look at some of the information that you may want to use. You can go back on the videos and have a look if you want. Obviously, they are all our wider curriculum videos. They are all still up on the YouTube channel. They're just labeled as wider curriculum. So if you searched year 4, wider curriculum, I'm sure they would come up with TLAP, but you can go back and kind of gather that information, or have a look at the information that you have gathered over the last few weeks, and hopefully that will help you with this. So your first task is, do you remember that spider diagram you made at the start of the Roman topic? I want you to go back to that if you are able to, and use a different color pen or pencil, and then add more information that you now know. So a lot of you said to me, Mrs. Van Huffel, I don't know anything about the Romans. And you even asked me, I even remember some of you saying to me, can we use some of the information that you learned from the comprehensions that we did? Absolutely. And hopefully now that we've done a whole lot more on the Romans, you're able to go back and add more information to it. If you don't have that, maybe you want to create a brand new one that then has a lot of the information that we've learned and gathered, and try and get as much of that down into a spider diagram as you can. Your second task will be to read over your work from this topic as you're going to be creating your own poster about the Romans. I also want you to start thinking about how we have been discussing non-chronological reports. Maybe you want to make a very big information poster about it, or a fact file about it, but this is going to be for you to create. So go back, look at all the information that we've gathered. Like I said, you can go and rewatch 1 or 2 of the videos if that's what you want. Or if you remember, I remember our TLAP expert, she said this in that video, so I'm going to go back and write a little bit about the beachy head lady, or maybe a bit of information about Boudica. So all those resources are there for you. Remember with your task, and this is where I think the non-chronological report bit or a fact file comes in, is remember in your poster you can include the following. So I would like a title. You can include subheadings, pictures, and neat handwriting. Okay, and any of the key vocabulary that we have used or you are going to use in that needs to have the correct spelling. If you're unsure, you can go back to the key vocabulary lesson. You can go back and look at what we've written down. You can also check your work, obviously, with a dictionary, or just having a read through to see if anything sounds incorrect. But that's something obviously that we can, you can do once you've finished it. So you're going to make a spider diagram, or you're going to add to your first spider diagram right in the beginning. You're going to add to it using a different color, and then you are going to create a poster or a fact file, non-chronological report, all about the Romans that then we can use to see how much you have learned. This obviously needs to be laid out neatly, and I want your best handwriting. Make sure it is labeled correctly, make sure you have a title, make sure you've used your rulers, make sure you're writing on your margin, please. and you can include pictures, drawings, anything that you think is important. So, like I said, I'll go through a little bit of this. You could use some of the information that we looked at about what is still left in Britain that we still have today, that we can thank the Romans for, looking at the central heating, the laws, aqueducts, toilets, roads, cranes. You can go back and have a look at your videos. You could look at these ones as well. Obviously, the things that have been uncovered, you could maybe have a little section about Roman buildings that are still around, or things that you can still see. So we had that chariot, I've lost the word, but where they did the chariot racing, you could mention that. You could mention the Colosseum. You could mention the Roman baths in Bath. We could look at why they invaded Britain. So remember, we looked at what they wanted to take from the Britons and what, or from the British, why the Romans came, what resources were here. So we went through some of these, obviously, in a previous lesson as well. What was important, why they invaded. So all of these kinds of things can be included in your final task today, in your final hot task about what you know about the Romans. So don't rush through this. Take some time to gather the information that you think would be important, things that you would include, things that maybe stand out, or something that you really enjoyed learning. Maybe you want to draw some information from the expert, that man that spoke. So maybe you want some fun facts from there as well. So take your time with this. Make sure it's neat and interestingly presented. Make sure that you have tried hard with it. Make sure that you have used your neatest handwriting. Please make sure to share this with us, obviously, on Tapestry, so we can have a look at your final hot task for this topic.